First and foremost, we always like to give honor to the God of Israel, of our forefathers, Abraham, and Isaac, and Jacob. I'll give you the title of the message today. It's the bloodline of Abraham. The bloodline of Abraham. You have a lot of stuff going on in the world today, y'all, as you see it. But nobody knows a lot of evil things that are going on in the world. A whole lot of killing, a whole lot of people doing evil stuff. But nobody knows why. And most of all, nobody don't go to the book and find out the reason why this world is in so much turmoil. It's just getting crazy now. So this message right here just try to put all the players on the floor so you understand what nation is doing what. And I think it's real important that you understand who you are in the scriptures for Israel and who the other nations are. It's going to be a brief lesson on the bloodline of Abraham to show you about these certain people. And most of the people today are glorifying some of the people, especially the ones that claiming our birthright. And just want to make you understand, and most of all, put your face in this book so you can read and understand the information so you won't be out there depending on nobody, but the Lord and His Word. So we're going to turn to Revelation chapter 2. We're going to start with verse 1. And you got to be real careful when you're dealing with these different types of nations. Me and brother were talking this morning how we have so many people uplifting black people. You got the Muslims who all are pro-black, and they say a lot of good things, but they're not coming from the God of this book. They're coming from the God of Abraham. They come from the God of Ishmael, which are the Arab, which is the Muslim. So we just put everything on the table so you'll understand. Don't be following these different types of nations, not knowing their origin or where they come from. As you being Israel, you got to be able to teach other people this stuff yourself. Like they're going to ask you. They're going to ask you. And you can come to this lesson to show them. So we're going to start in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 1. We'll read 1 and 2, we're going to jump to 4. God is a God that really, He don't like everybody, man. He don't love everybody. There's some nations out here who He hates, very much so. And people think God don't hate, but He hates. We start at verse 1. Go ahead, brother.
Unto the angel of the church in Ephesus write, These things says He that holds the 7 stars in His right hand, who walketh in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks.
The 7 stars are the angels, 7 angels, and the candlesticks, 7 candlesticks are the churches. Each one of the angels came and delivered a message to different types of churches in their generation. And that's how God gets the message to us as Israel by the angel. What some people call today the God Holy Ghost. He's not a God. He's a messenger. This is how God gets His message to all of Israel first and then the other nations through us. Go ahead.
I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars.
Jesus telling you, He know your works. He know how hard that we work at understanding this Bible and who we are. He said, He know the ones that lie and say they are Jews. He know that, but they are liars. You just keep working to understand how you come into the book. And for just being Israel. He said, I know you found them being liars because you read this book. And you showed them that they are liars. You're not Israel. You don't line up with the curses at all. That's our twin brother over there, Esau. So we got to understand, put everything in the proper place. But jump down to verse 4. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love.
So you left your first love because we start following these other nations and doing their holy days, their Sundays, all these Easters, Christmas things, all this stuff, you left it. You left me. And you start following these different nations who call themselves you. But the Sunday Christians today don't even know nothing about this. They call you Gentiles. If you ain't a Gentile, you're what? What they said? I forgot what it is. You're a Gentile or a Christian or something you say. It don't make sense. And Gentiles that we know as being Israel are the so-called white people. That's the seed of Japheth in Genesis chapter 10. So you got some understanding, it's kind of hard for you to take them lies that they tell you. You can read it. No, this is the nation of the Gentiles. We Israelites. And you got Ham, which is the African. All these different nations are broke down in this book, but it's going to take somebody just to learn it. And them preachers, they sorry. All they want to do is eat, drink, and be merry, and collect money. This is what the job of the pastor's supposed to do, to edify the members. All this stuff in the Old Testament is there for a reason, so you understand. But go ahead.
Verse 5. Remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will remove thy candlestick out of his place.
He said, remember how thou art fallen. Remember everything that God telling you, or he going to remove the candlestick. Talking about the church, how he removed Israel out of their land. And another people came in our land and just took our identity. And God was pissed off about that. Well, go ahead.
But this thou hast, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans.
The Nicolaitans,
Which I also hate.
So Jesus hates these Nicolaitans, these people, for a reason. Because they have claimed you and I, yours and mine identity as Israel. He hates them. Go ahead.
He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life,
Yes, sir.
which is in the midst of the paradise of God.
He's going to get him to eat the tree of life, which is Jesus. In the midst of paradise, which is going to be in the land, in his kingdom, Jesus' kingdom. Paradise is not talking about in heaven. Everywhere you see paradise, that don't mean that you're going to heaven. No, paradise in the land of Israel. Go ahead.
And unto the angel of the church in Smyrna write, these things says the first and the last, which are dead and is alive.
Yes, sir. We know who that is. Jesus, the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. Go ahead.
I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogues of Satan.
I asked a question out there, the TV land here. What you refer to yourself as Jews before you had some knowledge? No. So he got to be talking about another set of people, because we don't refer to ourselves as being Jews. With understanding, we know that Jew is one tribe. Judah.
Absolutely.
And you got 12 other tribes. So the whole nation of the Jewish people over there in the land today, they call themselves Jews. All them Jews. That's a lie. You cannot just be one tribe Jew. You got to be either Judah, Benjamin, Levi to be claimed as the Israelites. But they tell us they're Jews. But Jesus just said, the one that say they're Jews and are not. Who call themselves Jews today? We ain't. Our people not. We Gentiles, and they teach us in these churches. So we got a problem here, because Jesus said in verse 6, but this thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. He hate these certain amount of people because they claim it to be you and me. But most of the people don't investigate to find out how it all went down, how it all went wrong. But we're going to investigate today. Let's go to Genesis chapter 16, verse 1. So we understand what's going on. Yep, you gotta understand and find out who these Nicolaitans are. God hate them. Hate them with a passion. And we know they say that they are Jews. That just should be quite simple. Who in the land do they call themselves Jews? Yes, sir. Our twin brother, Esau. Genesis 16, we're going to start at verse 1. So let's find out. We got to go through the lineage of Abraham, meaning that his family tree, to trace this thing all the way down. Go ahead, brother.
Now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children.
Right.
And she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar.
Go ahead.
And Sarah said unto Abram, Behold now, the Lord has restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah.
So Sarah said she can't bear children, Abraham. Go into my handmaid, and so she can have you a son. But God told them that they was going to have a son. They was going to have one, but Sarah took it upon herself to say, okay, you just have a baby by my handmaid. And that handmaid and her son, really, they brought us some real bad people in this world, real bad. They hand against everybody. Those are called the Arabs. Go ahead, we're going to touch on that. Go ahead.
And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife.
So Abraham married her, and that was his wife. And they had a son. Go ahead.
And he went in unto Hagar, and she received, and she was that, and when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
She was very mad because she gave her a child, and his wife Sarah couldn't. Sarah very mad because she easily gave a child to him. You know how it is back in the day, women feel good unless they have baby by their man. So she was despised because she got seed that fast. Go ahead.
And Sarah said unto Abram, My wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judged between me and thee.
She knows she shouldn't have did that. She said, the wrong be upon thee. Shouldn't have did that. Go ahead.
But Abram said unto Sarah, Behold, thy maid is in thy hand. Do to her as it pleases thee. And when Sarah dwelt heartily with her, she fled from her place.
So she started treating Hagar bad. So she fled. But God honors the seed of Abraham because he's the father of the covenants. Ishmael gonna have a big play in all this. But we're gonna jump down to verse 9 to understand how God did with Hagar. And he blessed that seed of Ishmael too. Go ahead.
And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly,
Yes, sir.
that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard thy affliction.
So this child that you and Abraham will have what the name should be named Ishmael. And this joker right here was a mean cat. And all his children were mean. But go ahead. The book gonna tell you that.
Verse 12. And he would be a wild man. His hand would be against every man's hands against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren.
So we understand that. He said he's gonna be a wild man. Meaning that all this seed of Ishmael gonna be wild. That's your ISIS today, to be more sense. That's the seed. You had Abraham, then you had Hagar, but she had a baby by the name of Ishmael. And Ishmael gonna have 12 princes too. This Ishmael, this is ISIS' father, or the Muslim father that Farrakhan and all them cats follow. God ain't never told Israel to follow nobody from this seed. Nobody. Go ahead. Jump down to verse, continue. He said, this man's hand shall be a wild man amongst every nation. Those Muslims wild against anybody. Y'all see the bombings?
That's right.
Y'all see all this stuff that happened? The Boston bombing and all this stuff? Ishmael. And he over there in the land, battling the land against all the other nations too. But he blessed this seed. That's why they control all the oil. All of it. Trillions of dollars of oil. Go ahead.
And she called the name of the Lord that spake unto her, Thy God seeth me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me?
Okay, let's go to Genesis chapter 17 and verse 1. I just want to make sure you understand that Abraham had a wife by the name of Hagar, and then they had a son by the name of Ishmael. So if you're looking at all the Arab people over there in the world today, or Muslim people, this is their dad right here, Ishmael. So you understand what's going on. We just identified the player on the court, or on the field, or in the lane. So when you read this book, you won't just follow people because they say something nice and good. You better hope they follow this book, the God of Israel. Farrakhan. Go ahead, jump down to Genesis chapter 17. We're going to start at verse 1. We still laying the foundation of Abraham's family tree, so you understand. Go ahead.
And when Abram was 90 years old and 9,
Yes, sir.
the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me and be thy perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. So
he's going to make the covenant between God and between Abraham, and he's going to multiply him. Meaning that he's going to have many kids in different nations. Go ahead.
And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
So he said, many nations you're going to be a father. But pay close attention. He said, the covenant is with thee. We need to find out what that covenant is, because it's very important that every male do this. Go ahead.
Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abraham.
Yes, sir.
But thy name neither shall thy name be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee.
Go ahead.
And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Go ahead.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations for an everlasting covenant.
Yes, sir.
To be a God unto thee, and to thy seed after thee.
So he laid the foundation about his children and the covenant. Go ahead.
And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God.
So that's Israel, the land of Canaan. He said, this is going to be your land forever. And we, the people over here, don't understand why everybody in our land fighting, we ain't giving a care. That's our land over there in Israel. That's from our father Abraham. He promised that to Abraham, and he promised that to his seed, which is the one that have the promise. But go ahead, we're going to continue on that. Keep going.
Verse 9. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep thy covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations.
You got to keep this covenant. Go ahead.
This is my covenant,
This is the covenant, meaning this is the laws of the covenant. Go ahead.
which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
It's quite simple. Every male child shall be circumcised. That's the covenant God had with Abraham and his seed. Meaning that every 8 days after the boy is born, he should be circumcised. Period. Don't let these folk fool you saying that circumcision don't matter. It matters a whole lot. This is how you get into the house of God. So you have any boys, young ladies, men, when you have children, make sure they are circumcised. Go ahead.
And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin.
Yes, sir.
And it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
So let God know that, hey, you are my children when you do this. You are my children. Go ahead.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every man child is your generation, in your generation.
Yes, sir.
He that is born in the house, or bought with money, or in a stranger, which is not of thy
He
seed.
said, Abraham, you got strangers inside of your house. They must be circumcised. The other nations. If you're going to be a part of this Israel, if not, you're going to be cut off. It's really important. Go ahead.
He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with money,
Yes, sir.
must need be circumcised.
Uh-huh.
And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
How long is this everlasting? Forever. Go ahead.
And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant.
So he's going to cut you off. If you don't, remember how Moses had a son, and Zipporah said, God was going to kill everyone firstborn in their household, but Moses didn't circumcise their son. And Zipporah found out real quick, Moses' wife, she circumcised the boy with a sharp rock. She said, you don't even care about your son. She threw it at his feet. Because he was so busy taking care of everybody else, he forgot about his own household. God was going to kill that boy. He didn't care if he was Moses' son. That's the covenant. Covenant. He's going to cut you off if you don't have this. Go ahead.
15. And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah.
Yes, sir.
Shall her name be.
Go ahead.
And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations, kings of people.